Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Mike here from AXC Garage. Welcome back to the channel. You guys are new to the channel. Make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. And today we're back with TJ Turbo Honda Civic Hatchback. We've done a few things since the last video, and along with that, we got some new stuff over here. Let's take a look. All right, TJ, so what do you have here?
All right, so since the last video, we did a Burton Racing coil and plug setup. We're using K20 coils. And also we are using a Speed Factory adapter plate and the billet cover for the distributor itself. And the good thing about Burton Racing actually is it's a direct plug and play in the ECU. You don't have to use any kind of, little mini module in between or anything. It just plugs right into the ECU, and you don't have to change anything on the Honda or none of that. It just
plug
works.
and play.
Yep.
And what else we have up in the front end? I know you have refreshed the front end a little bit.
Yeah, we also did some brand new Denji headlights with the golden ion. These are very hard to come by, and I'm surprised I even found them. And another surprising thing was the corner lights were actually amber before. And when I first bought the car a while ago, it looks like they must have painted it with some kind of amber paint. And what we did was figured out that it was real JDM corner lights that were painted. So we took the paint off, polished them up, and there you go, and they look brand new.
How you find out there was OEM light?
When I was changing the headlights, when we took them out, I looked at the part number. There was actually the part number for the JDM lights on there, so I'm like, that's weird. I never knew OEM orange corner lights, so I looked up the part number, and sure enough, they were JDM.
Man, the front end looks super clean. Super clean. Now, I know the ride height has changed a little bit. What have you done there?
Yes, and we also got rid of the K-Sport coilovers, and I ended up going with a Skunk 2 Pro ST coilover setup, so I can adjust dampening, and they just ride a lot better, have a better spring rate, and it's just a lot better for street. And if I want to, race it, I can stiffen it up a little bit, and it works a lot better. So
is it softer or stiffer than the previous setup?
It's stiffer than the previous. I can have it a little as soft as it was before, but right now I'm running a little stiffer because I don't want the body to roll so much when I get on the gas. We also did a couple other things back here. I ended up changing from the OEM taillights because they were getting a little faded and spider cracks. I ended up going with a Euro style red clear taillights, and we put some LED bulbs everywhere. So that just cleaned up the back end a little bit.
I always like those taillights on the hatchback. It really enhanced the rear end of the car.
Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner. And then also, what I did, wanted to spruce up the interior, try to make it a little new age. I came in here, and what I did was actually I had to get a new boost controller module because the old one, I guess it was an older version of this model, and it was giving me issues. So what I did was contact the company, and they ended up warranting it for me and give me a newer version of it, which hopefully it works out a lot better, which it actually works great now, but it's also brand new. And so what I did was reinstalled that, and then I also installed some LEDs in the gauge cluster and in the AC panel just to make it look a little freshened up.
Yeah, definitely look a lot more update. All right, TJ, so what do we have here today?
All right, we have the JDi Jordan Distributors Inc. Push Button Start Kit, which will be eliminating our factory ignition switch and key if you want. I mean, you could technically still keep it, but we're eliminating all that. Gonna keep it a nice, clean look.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So
right.
The car has a mechanical ignition switch right now.
Yeah.
But you installing this kit, it replaced that entire switch completely, or
Yeah.
that's two options for you to...
Yeah, you kind of have two options. You can replace it completely and get rid of it, or you can leave it in the car as your, steering lock technically, and then you can run the push button. You can still run the push button, but you would have to run it in a separate location instead of where we're running it, which is where the actual key would go.
Okay, so what does the kit comes with?
So pretty much, comes in this box right here, which we took everything out and laid it out. So you have your harness, which is a direct plug and play to your ignition. It goes into your fuse box and into your ignition harness on the car. Then this plugs into the control module box, which is right here. And these are the little RFID keys. This is how you're going to end up starting the car initially, eventually. This pretty much has to be scanned with this ring here. So this will be like the antenna. And once you scan it, it gives you a beep, and then you'll be able to push it, push the button to start. And the kit comes with this black push button start, but we ended up opting to get the red push button start. Make it look a little bit more like a NS2000, I guess you would say. And that's pretty much it. It comes with kind of like an instruction manual. Not really how to install it, but more of like what wires or what they do. Diag issues, if you have issues. It tells you what the lights that are flashing and how to put it in a valet mode. It also shows you how to bypass it if you lose your key. It tells you all that. So what we're going to do here, first we have to remove this panel down here to get access to the ignition harness wiring. And then from there we're going to remove the column covers to get access to our ignition switch itself, because we have to remove that. So I guess first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop off the steering wheel, and then that'll open up a lot of space for me to just take the bolts out and the screws out and get everything down to where we need it. All right, so we got all the panels off. So right now what we're doing is taking off the ignition wiring from the fuse box, and then you have one just above the fuse box. It's clipped onto the side of the column area. We're gonna just unplug both of them, and we'll get the ignition harness out of the way for now, and then we'll start working on the ignition switch, getting that off. All right, so we're gonna unplug from the fuse box here, and then just above the fuse box is the other side of that. And that's that. We're gonna take this out, kind of just get it out of our way. Next up, what we're gonna do is take these tamper-proof bolts off the ignition switch in order to get it off. And we're gonna have to use a punch and a hammer, and we're gonna have to kind of, make an indentation in it and just kind of tap it until it comes loose, and then, get it loose enough where we can unscrew it by hand, and that'll get our ignition switch out of the way. All right, so pretty much what we're doing is just unscrewing these by hand after we unloosen them with the punch, and that's what they look like.
So the ideal thing is just make an indentation so that the punch will grab, and you just keep tapping it to unscrew it.
Yeah, pretty much just make a little indent and try to loosen it. And once you loosen it, you should be able to just kind of spin it out by hand once it's loose enough, and then it'll come out. We got the other one out, and then we just pop this out of the lock, and there you go. Ignition is out.
Oh, just like that, huh?
There it is. All All right, so now we got our ignition switch and harness laid out on the table here. And pretty much what we're gonna be doing is replacing all this with this harness. And you know, this is gonna plug into our fuse box and to the other ignition plug right above the fuse box. This end is gonna plug right into the box, and we're gonna run a ground, which will be on the little metal bracket right under there. There's a bolt, you can just put it to the bolt. And then what we're gonna do is put our antenna probably under the panel. It's the easiest way. And we're just gonna plug everything into the box and you know, zip tie the box out the way up under the dash. And then also we have to run this green wire to the brake pedal switch, which will be at the dark green wire. Whatever the dark green wire is, it's gonna be like a 12-volt power source. When you press a brake, it'll send a 12-volt signal, I guess, to the box, and that'll let you turn the car on.
So this ring right over here is the receiver.
Yeah, this is the like the antenna receiver for the RFID key.
So
chip.
it come with these two, and also that card,
Yeah.
also a transponder.
Yeah, it comes with 2 transponders and an RFID card, which will be the same as these keys. So you can put this in your wallet, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So in case you
case
forgot
you lose
that,
this, or, yeah.
you still have the card, because you obviously we carry our wallet
Yeah.
all the time. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the car and get the harness back in the car.
All right, so I think I found a spot for this box. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretty much just slide this right up on top of the frame of the dashboard here. And then what I'll do is I'll just secure it down, a couple tie straps around the harness here and around the little bracket. And then I can just plug all my plugs in right here and have everything nice and clean and tucked up away. There. We'll go ahead and run this one right up to the top. And that's it. White connector here, and that's gonna go directly into the box that we mounted up over here. And then what we're gonna do is run our ground to any ground location that you feel is good, but we have a nice ground location right over here by the hood release that will work perfect for us. All right, so what we're gonna do now is connect this green wire to our brake pedal switch, which on our brake pedal switch on this model is going to be a green with a white stripe. And that's gonna allow us to start the car properly while we press the brake. All right, so I got everything kind of plugged in real easy, wired up, just so we can go ahead and give it a test before we button everything up and clean all the wiring up. All right, so I guess we're gonna take our chip here, and here's our ring. We're gonna just scan it, let it beep. We're gonna hit the brake pedal, and then we're gonna push the button to start.
You know what, TJ? I really like this switch that came with a kit, because the car is blue and it's light up blue, so I really like it.
Yeah, I think we were gonna use the red one, but I guess we're gonna end up going with the blue one. I like the blue one too. It looks a lot more my style there.
Yeah. So I guess once we press this button, it should cycle off, right?
Yeah, once we press the button, it should turn the car off. Well, you gotta hit the brake pedal, hit the button, and it'll turn off. Putting this in, we kind of ran into just a small issue. So we put the switch in, everything fits good. We went to put the cover in and realized that you can't bolt the cover back up without the actual ignition cylinder in there. So what we did was we ended up just taking out the actual cylinder itself from the housing, and we rebolted everything back up to keep the actual housing in. And then that will allow us to bolt up our covers back up to the location that they were in before. All right, so what we did here was just I put a little duct tape around the ring here to hold it to my cover. You know, there's no worry for you to drill anything or put any kind of bracket. I mean, you could probably use double-sided tape. I mean, this just was a lot easier, and it'll hold it in there pretty good. It's some strong tape.
So on the other side, you won't be able to see anything.
Yeah.
Everything is nice and concealed. And all you have to do is just kind of raise the transponder right on the outside.
Yep.
And it will activate the system. Pretty neat.
Yep.
All right, man, we got everything back together. This is going to be our first official test with everything back together. So let's go ahead and throw on the steering wheel real quick. What's next?
All right, we're gonna take our key here and swipe. Hold the brake. Simple as that.
Very nice.
One push start.
Hey guys, just like that, in less than 60 minutes, we got this JDi plug and play push button conversion kit installed and the kit starting in just $120. We're gonna go ahead and put more information down in the description in case you guys wanna check them out. And this wrap up for this video. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. My name is Mike, behalf of AXC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.